One of my guy friends said he literally has to like take part of his budget for like dating because he's like, I
It's
gotta,
expensive.
it's an expensive thing.
For
And I
sure,
said,
especially in New York.
hey y'all, my name is Denasia and I'm a 24-year-old type A black girl from Las Vegas. I currently live in Jersey, working as a corporate girly in the beauty industry.
Hey y'all, my name is Faith and I'm a 25-year-old type A black girl from AZ, living in Denver, working as a corporate girly in tech.
When it comes to life, it's literally always something, especially as a type A black girl.
No matter what area you're in, Girl Talk always makes it better.
Get ready to enjoy an hour of us yapping about friendships, relationships,
and things we've learned along the way as type A black girls. Hope you enjoy.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode.
Hi everyone, welcome back to season 10 of Type A Black Girls.
As you can see with us, we have a very special guest. Everyone say hi, Kennard.
Hi, Kennard.
Hi, Kennard.
Hello.
Insert the clapping here. Today we're going to talk about personal finances. A lot of the girlies have been requesting this on the free suggestion bots. I feel like we get this question every single season. So thank you to Kennard for coming on.
Facts.
Well, first, moms, I mean, let's just start off with classroom announcements.
Yeah. So, if you're new here, thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like we're gonna get some. I'm just putting it in there. We're gonna get some new listeners and some new watchers. So, welcome to Type A Black Girls. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to our Patreon. $3 a month, and honestly, you get way more than just for $3. I will say.
We dropped our trip itineraries in there.
Tokyo and Tanzania and Zanzibar and all of the crazy stories, all the BTS that can't make it to Instagram or actually any platform other than Patreon will be on there. We have monthly life updates because we don't have Rosebud and Thorn because we do film. We batch film content. So this is currently July.
This is probably coming out in like November.
No, exactly. But yeah, definitely subscribe to the Patreon. Join the group me. It'll be in our link tree and our Instagram. It's where all of the girlies do all of their dilemmas, ask all the questions. We talk about the books for the book club. It's just a girl chat.
Basically.
Truly and surely.
Yeah. And also make sure if you have any dilemmas, please submit them in our free suggestion bots. We always answer them live on the pod. We're no longer answering them on Patreon.
Yeah.
So you don't got to pay $3 to have your question answered.
Exactly.
Please make sure you're submitting those. There's no word limit, completely anonymous, and it's always in our link tree and in the bio of this description.
For sure.
So,
and finally, subscribe to our YouTube, comment on our YouTube, comment on any platform, but specifically Instagram as well. Make sure you're following us on all of our platforms, and just you're really going to enjoy this episode. I'm very excited.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kennard, let's talk about how we met. Let's introduce you, Kennard. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank
you.
He's our certified finance bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
He brought the book and everything.
Okay.
I'm so ready.
I did.
He came on to tell us about how to manage our personal finances today. So
Yes.
if you could just tell us like where you're from, where you work right now, what's life looking like?
Yeah, so as you know, my name is Kennard. From Chicago, Illinois, originally born and raised. Went to school in Connecticut at Trinity College, majored in economics. Currently at JP Morgan as an institutional sales associate, but just since I've graduated, I think I've just grown a stronger affinity to just managing my personal finances. And I think I'd be doing myself a disservice being at JP Morgan and not, sharing the wealth with those, my age and others who may find personal finances to be interesting. So
for sure.
happy to be here.
Yes, share it with the people.
Absolutely.
For real.
Okay, so Kennard, let's talk about how we met. I feel like we've known each other now for like almost 2 years.
2 years.
Oh,
wow. When you first moved?
I feel like so, yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, because I remember I met your roommates, Toby and Benji. I remember we all went out to a happy hour, and we have a mutual friend, Tamia, who's been on the pod. Y'all met Tamia.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all at happy hour, and then we were like, hey, we don't want this night to end. We're just going to continue chilling. And we went back to y'all's apartment, chilled, had some blueberry mint hookah, and it was a great night.
It was a great night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I met Kennard.
Yeah.
And ever since, you guys have been like the best party throwers.
Absolutely.
The best to chill out with. So
absolutely. Yeah.
If you remember the whistle party that was at his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Y'all told that story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
you recall.
crazy.
Yes. Me and Tamia had them whistles. I think
Nah,
I was
those
on
are
aux.
crazy. Yeah, you were on the aux for sure. Yeah, I don't remember a lot from that day. You have a lot of
all I
video
remember is the
footage.
aux and the whistle. So
Exactly. Yeah, that was a time. It's crazy though because when we first met, we lived in like 2 separate apartments since our first one we met
I was gonna say, like we've seen each of their
For
eras.
sure. No,
Yeah.
you've been in our progression, and you've been
Yeah.
at every function we've thrown. So thank you.
Yes.
For coming.
I'm a
Yeah.
loyal goer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but let's get into question of the week.
Udit.
Oh, Udid.
Yes.
Okay, outfit of the day.
Okay.
So tell us about your drip.
Not a lot of drip today, honestly. Coming from work, but this morning, I got up at like 5:15, got to the gym, and I had my gym bag, and then I already had like my garment bag with my clothes, and I'm like, I'm gonna be sweating on the train. Like I don't have time to pack a third outfit,
So-
but I did have to throw on some kicks. So I got on some Jordan 1s, Chicago's. I think these are probably like a 2022 release. So not the OG release, but probably one of my favorite mics I have. So I had to put it on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just got a French cuff shirt. Yeah, dress pants. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty finance, bro. So I guess it's on brand for today.
Yeah, honestly, all your business is Patagonia for real, but it's too hot for that. But
Yeah,
yeah. I actually thrifted this from the bins.
Oh, period.
I said, perfect. I'm wearing this on the pod. I was so lit when I grabbed that. And then what is it? Sheen headband. Girl, did I get these from the bins? I either got these from I got stockings that were already in a pack already. In the bins.
fresh stockings.
Fresh stockings from the bins.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then, okay, I've worn these flats the entire season.
Y'all know these ballet
You
flats.
know these ballet flats, honestly. But yeah, that's me. And then honestly, Sheen for all my jewelry, because if I lose it, I'm cool. What about you, moms?
I look like I'm going to a totally different occasion
Totally.
than both of y'all. Yeah, I packed this at like 5 a.m. because I had to pack. I was at work too,
Yeah.
and I said I had to pack 2 outfit changes. Had my Halloween outfit before this.
Yeah.
I was a cowgirl, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
So this shirt is from Princess Polly. These pants are from IMG. I got some dunks on, and my headband is from Amazon.
Perfect. Okay, what else?
Question of the week.
Question of the week. Okay,
Yeah, we got a lot of
yes,
intro.
yeah,
That's fine. I love that.
What is it? So back in college, you were maybe struggling here and there, eating maybe ramen noodles. I did that one time. I said, okay, this is a little bit too niche. This is too on brand. I'm not doing this. But back in college, you might have struggled through some things and thought certain things were luxuries. But now that you're an adult with adult money, what are some things that you're just like, I'm so glad I have the funds to do this that other people might not think is a luxury?
Honestly, for me, like we hit on the head with the Ubers.
Yeah.
Being able to just be like, I'm tired. I don't feel like walking nowhere. I don't feel like driving nowhere. I don't feel like taking the train. I'm going to call an Uber and it'd be like a $50, $60 Uber. And I'm like, hey, I can take it.
It's paying for convenience for real.
For real. Yeah.
That's really what
especially
it
at
is.
night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kennard?
I feel like for me, well, for background, I was a track and field athlete as well at Trinity. So for me, like, I guess I'm fortunate now to be able to like buy like really nice workout clothes because as an athlete, we got so much stuff for free. Like we got like free shirts, free spandex, free like shoes, trainers, like running shoes, whatever. And now I'm like, okay, at least keeping on my workout regimen. I have a ton that I already use that's like Trinity branded. However, now I can like, buy a little Lulu, a little Nike Tech, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
I didn't realize how expensive they were.
It's so
Oh,
expensive.
Lulu is
It's so
unreal.
expensive.
No, I'm talking about a Nike Tech.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no,
those
250,
two.
Oh my
250 on the low
God.
end.
Those two.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like what? Like what? For what? And when I'm like, okay, now that I understand the prices of things, I'm like I saw this a couple had matching Nike Techs. I said,
Oh, y'all got
y'all
money.
are rich. Are you
Rich,
kidding?
rich.
Or like a nice brown Nike Tech, like you found that, like two in the same, whatever. But for me, I think it's food. Like I cook. I really do enjoy cooking. My Pinterest meals every week, but sometimes I'm tired and I just want some pizza. And when I first started work, I had to really decide: can we get this Domino's delivered? Because I don't have a car. And but if I do, that's going to dip into my grocery money. Now I'm excited that I could have grocery money, but also I got
Going
Uber
out
Eats
eating.
money. I got pizza money. I not every day. It never gave every day. We not there. I just feel like my stomach would not be to have the funnest if I'm eating out every day. But yeah, I feel good. Like,
going out.
it's okay to $50 on some pizza and wing because I don't want Domino's. I want Perry's. If you're ever in Colorado, the best pizza is Perry's. I promise you. And me and Dammy don't like duplicating places.
Oh yeah.
But Perry's probably every month we go to Perry's.
What?
Bro.
This is crazy because mind you, Faith is like, hey, I'm not ordering out.
Oh yeah, no. No, we got
They
fees
kill you
at
with the
home.
fees too. The fees are
Yes, the
crazy.
fees.
Oh.
God.
Yes, like, bro. But the thing is, we get on that Perry's website. We don't even do Uber Eats. We get on that
Oh, they
website.
delivered.
They delivered us. Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as you deliver, they better be giving you some sort of discount, little 15%
something.
off.
Yeah. We ordered from them. Let's say every month. I don't know what they was doing, but they gave us big chunks of garlic. Dammy called them. He said, "My wife is allergic to garlic."
No, he didn't.
Bro, we were so pissed off because we get Lady Liberty pizza every single time.
Yeah.
Why are there like it could kill a vampire? I promise you.
crazy.
It was like, and he was like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, if I'm allergic, I'm dead right now. Like,
Right.
it's
Tell them my wife is allergic.
yeah, but they refunded us. So I was like, okay, like y'all got a good sense of self. But yeah, I'm just so excited that I could I'm like, wow, if I want to,
You can.
if I wanted to, I could.
Not
yeah.
only just that, it's like the fees. Plus, they don't even be coming to my door sometimes. They be like, I'm outside. This is DoorDash. I need to at my door right now. Like
What?
Not
like,
outside dash.
Uber Eat, no, like
No.
DoorDash. I need you out my door, and I'm not opening the door because now they're doing this thing where like you gotta give a code.
Yes, the code. Yeah.
No, like I'm not.
Wait, a code to get in?
Like a code to exchange to the person. That way they know it got delivered.
I kind of like that though, a little bit.
So
Okay,
it's
I
not
got
the
a
right-
horror story about that though. So
Oh.
one time I was in college, me and my roommate. This one I was the first year, and we had some Chipotle. Like it was like super late. You know, you just going out, you just want a nice meal,
Call it
be
that.
done, whatever. So I was on some fat shit. I got like a burrito. I got a burrito. I got a bowl. I got some like chips, guac, all that.
Oh,
So they
you
came-
had big back down.
Man, I was hungry for real. So they came, like the DoorDash driver came to outside our dorm, but like it's like a semicircle, so like cars can just drive in and whatever.
Yeah.
So like there was no code, and I guess the guy, the DoorDash driver, just gave my food away to whoever was there. So by that time, I was like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. But then by that time, also Chipotle had closed.
Yeah.
So I went to sleep hungry, and I was already like, you know, it was already that time of night. So I like the code, kind of. It's a little.
Okay.
little
I understand.
You know,
scary,
in that
You know,
context,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
get
Me
that.
personally.
I get that. The only problem is I'd be in bed and they'd be like knocking on the door, code. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, now
yeah.
I gotta get
Got
up.
my bonnet on,
Right.
good shirt on,
I'm
fresh.
like
Yeah.
cracking the door. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8?
0928. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Or they take pictures of you while you're getting the food.
Wait, I never heard of that.
You've never seen
No,
that?
I've never seen that.
Guys,
That's crazy.
I've gotten someone like they'll be like, oh, your food is delivered, and they'll show proof that it's been like delivered, and it'll be me like leaning outside the door grabbing it in the
Yes,
picture. Like,
bro, just
get me
That's
out of there.
insane.
I'm in 4K.
very unserious. But you
Man.
guys, we're gonna go ahead and actually, I know you said your background. I know you said your title, but could you go into a little bit deeper dive on how you got into finance and what you do at JP Morgan?
Yes, I'll speak at a high level.
Yeah.
So I got into finance through like summer internship programs. So recruiting for finance starts so early. So when I was a sophomore, I got into this program called SEO Careers. So SEO is a nonprofit organization that helps pair underrepresented students or like minorities with like these large financial firms. So I kind of think of them as a matchmaker. So you got, you know, me wanting to get to a firm like JP Morgan or Bank of America or whatever large institution. And then you have, you know, these firms that, mind you, this is like post 2020. So they're like, we need to hire diverse, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So
DE&I.
exactly.
Yeah.
So got into SEO. They helped me with like interview preparation, got my technical skills up to par, soft skills up to par, etc. And by that time, they also had a host of like corporate partnerships.
Yeah.
So from there, just kept following up with people that I've been meeting and networking with, and landed a summer internship. So
Period.
yeah, got a full-time offer to return. Just got promoted to associate. Like,
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
We love to see it.
Black excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at a high level, my role at JP Morgan Asset Management is, well, let me actually just take a step back and just describe what asset management is.
Thank you. Yeah.
So asset management is investing large sums of money on behalf of large institutions. So think endowments, foundations, healthcare systems, labor unions, like
Wow.
any institution you can think of. But my role specifically, our team in institutional sales is segmented across multiple segments. So I specifically work in defined contribution sales. So let's say L'Oreal Paris, right? Let's say, you know, you vest toward your 401k or corporate retirement plan every 2 weeks. So it's called a core menu. So like the select options that you're able to select for your like retirement allocation, firms like JP Morgan or like a I don't know, like a T. Rowe Price or whatever investment manager, they're able to sell investment solutions to a L'Oreal Paris. And then from there, you as a plan participant can select those investments so that you can save and retire with comfortability. So that's my role.
Whoa.
And as a fiduciary, or i.e. someone who assumes responsibility for client assets, our job is to, service large institutions with investment solutions.
All I heard is
Ooh,
you're smart.
I eat it up.
When
Did
I
that
think
make sense
about
though? Did
I
that
started-
explanation make sense? or
No,
not?
no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Okay.
It made
All right,
sense.
that was helpful.
But coming from somebody not coming from like an economics background, no clue about finance. I'm on tech. I say I work in tech, but really I work in supply chain. Okay, you
Okay.
know, like at a tech company. I'm sure the girlies are like, oh, he just got money. That's all.
They heard ching, 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 ching.
No,
Man.
literally, yeah. That's amazing. Honestly, you don't think about what goes into all of the 401k. You
Because
don't
what,
think.
what you all think about, I mean, the thing is you probably don't think about it, right? It's called a QDIA, or a qualified default investment alternative. So like if you're investing in a specific product, like that's something for you that you're setting and forgetting. You're not looking at your corporate retirement plan every day
No.
or every 2 weeks. You're like, okay, I'm gonna invest here, and this deduction is cut out of my paycheck, and I'd hope that at some point when I retire that I have the money that's like there for me.
Exactly.
But that's our job at JP Morgan, is to make sure your
It
assets
goes
are
to the
safe,
right place.
it
Yeah.
grows, and that you can retire with confidence.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that.
That's what
That feels good to hear.
Period.
Yeah, I like
Period.
JP Morgan. Okay, period.
Okay, so your time at JP Morgan, you've been there for now how many years? Like 2 years?
2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Just hit my 2-year anniversary like
Oh, wow.
a few days
August?
ago. Yeah.
Oh, you started in July.
Yeah, I started in
Goodness,
July
okay,
July of
period.
2022.
Period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you feel like now that you've been working there for 2 years? Like, what's something that you've picked up from working there that you now implement in your daily life or like your daily finances?
Man, I feel like in my role specifically, again, like we service large institutions. So an institution's balance sheet or like their investment needs differ significantly than an individual, right?
Yeah.
But being at JP Morgan, we have so many resources. In fact, um, so how we like to brand it at JP Morgan is like having a personal relationship with one of every 2 households in America, meaning 1 in every 4 people bank with Chase to some capacity. So
Yeah.
again, being at a place like JP Morgan Chase to me is so much more than just my role, and it's more about like how are we impacting communities. So that's how I like to think about
It's
my
like a
role.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a responsibility, and I feel like when people think JP Morgan is like you can think anything, right? But you didn't think that like we serve in that capacity. So I also just say like certain things I picked up on is just how to save, how to invest, how to have like that long term mindset.
Yeah.
Because and we'll talk a little bit about this later, but I feel as though many people now have such a short-term view of what wealth looks like and what wealth creation looks like.
Yeah.
And by working in finance, I've really been able to realize that this is not an overnight process, right?
Mm.
The power of like investment compounding, the power of just, increasing your savings rate, or just very small things that you can do consistently over the long term
Yeah.
is the key to really accumulating wealth. So I would say like that's the biggest thing that I've been able to pick up on. And again, I'm happy to share on this platform. And also I just do realize that I know who this space is for. So for this invitation to me means a lot. So thank you all for the invitation.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
for the
of
girlies. It's for the
course.
boys. Hold on. How many boys straight boys have we had? Evan and you and Demi.
And corn.
Corn. Okay. Well, we've had a good, decent amount of. We had somebody from in IT, but he didn't talk about IT. He just. What did Demi come on talk? I think you talked about red flags.
He did.
Corn came on and talked about law school.
You're
Evan-
coming on to talk about finances.
Evan came on to talk about men.
Yeah. You put us on free game.
yeah. No, it was great. It was a great time.
Yeah, we don't really have many male guests.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
thanks
Yeah,
again for
no,
coming.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate the
I
invitation.
really, really appreciate it. So, but when you were in college, do you think you were good with money in comparison to now?
It's so crazy because like when I was growing up, my dad worked a lot, and he never really wanted me to ever have a job. He wanted me to use my time to figure out what I wanted to do
Yeah.
and not to make money. Because I mean, we have now at this point, and now I see what he was saying, but like we have all of our lives to make money, right? So
Yeah.
me working, 16, 17, 18 years old is like, yeah, I may have had like a job or a side hustle here and there, but like, punching a clock is something I never really did until I started having internships. So I thought about it I would say a fair amount, but to me, given I feel like again, like my life as an athlete, I kind of feel like I wouldn't say I had it made because I worked a lot to where I got, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my expenses were covered because I went to school on a full scholarship, and I
Yeah.
also was an athlete, so a lot of my meals were
Comped. Yeah.
yeah
All right.
compensated for. So
Wow.
I was like very conscious about it, but like now being, in a place where now like working at JP Morgan, right? Managing my own money, stepping into this space, it's my responsibility to be a man about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
Okay, unserious question.
Sure.
You ran track and field in college. Do you still run? Are you a part of a run club?
I'm not a part of a run club. So actually, this is a small nuance. So people think like when people think track, people automatically think like running, right?
Yeah.
So I was in the
Oh.
field, right? So I was playing in the sand.
Oh.
yeah,
Are you
so-
long jump?
Yeah, no,
Oh.
long triple and high jump, but triple jump is my best event.
Ah,
So,
wow.
yeah.
That's so
Yeah, I think
That's
the school. I
props.
have a school record. I think it's still in my name, and then I also made it. I qualified for 2 NCAA championships as well in college. So, yeah,
So you
Hope
was
I'm still
really put
standing.
that money to use. You said,
For
from here,
real.
if we're gonna do it, let's do it.
yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, it's no point.
Wait, how many feet? Like I'm trying to visualize.
Triple jump. My best was I think what like 48 feet 10 inches. I think was my best. So I think 1479, 14 meters 79.
Yeah, each hop had
That's
to be.
Yeah.
insane.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's. I mean, I'm trying to.
I got 0 hops.
No, no, literally.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
god.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was
Yeah.
curious because it's been a big trend of people joining run clubs.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know if it's because we're entering our mid-20s and people are like, like I need an
Yeah,
activity.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah.
run clubs, I feel like people doing marathons and run clubs has been so popular.
It's an easy way to find community, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd rather find my community like at a gym or like in a workout class,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But you're running, not so much.
Yeah, I'm not running for fun.
Wow.
yeah.
I meet friends at my little Pilates class.
Yeah, we'll figure it out somewhere else. I'm not running. I think the girlies are always trying to find men. And
that
that's-
too.
That-
I see
yeah.
like TikToks. They're like, "Oh, find your husband at the run club,"
No.
because then he's gonna want to run continuously.
No. Let's sit. Let's watch some Netflix. Are you kidding me? I did want to ask a finance bro question. Having the title of finance bro, like you said, you woke up at 5:15. Like, what does your routine look like?
Man, it's crazy because sometimes like I hate being dubbed as a finance bro because I feel like at heart that's not what I want to be. sometimes.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of like to my friends, it's like that's what I am, and it's not that many black people in finance too. So
Sure.
it's like I'm the closest
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
So I guess my routine now, I'm actually on this like 30-day challenge. I'm reading this book right now. It's called Miracle Morning and 7 Things You Need to Do Before 8 a.m. So one of those things is working out. So I work out like religiously, but now I'm being very focused on like getting to the gym before work because after work, you got the happy hours. I got, stuff like this, so I don't ever want to like, those are, I treat that as like a personal check-in with myself.
Yeah.
And now I can't, I just need that to be more sacred, so I have that in the morning. So to answer your question, yes, I'm trying to get up at like, 5-ish in the morning, do my like silence, personal affirmations, all that stuff, get to the gym, then commute to work. So I'm at the office at around 8, and then I'm working probably until around like, early/late evening. And then after that, I just come home, eat dinner, do whatever I need to do. So that's
You're a
pretty much.
warrior.
Would you say late evening? Can you give me a number?
See, I was trying to really avoid this
No.
conversation.
I feel like that really does vary. I don't know.
Yeah, it honestly
Yeah,
depends
it
on the
varies, it
week and the
varies.
quarter. Yeah,
Yeah.
It varies.
what
And
time
also,
of the quarter.
yeah, and it also varies on like who specifically you're referring to, because like some people who work in like investment banking or private equity, they may work, man, like
On the weekend.
don't
man,
stop.
on the
Yeah.
weekends, like they really
Yeah.
don't. They're logging 80 to 100-hour weeks. But me specifically, I'm probably out the office on average around like 6:30.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
6:30, 7 o'clock. If it's bad, a little later, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned like being a finance bro and being a black finance bro specifically. Like, what's that been like? Because I mean, I doubt there's like a huge black community in the spaces you're in. Like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, it isn't a large space, but for me, I mean, it's just playing the game. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about being in front of the right people and just like learning how to elevate others around me. And like it could be something like super simple. So that's what I've been trying to focus on. But there are a host of like external organizations, nonprofit organizations that I've been able to leverage. So I was just at a conference in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. So it's called AWD, or the Association for Wholesale and Diversity, and it brings together all Black investment sales professionals across the country. So
Whoa.
depending on like wherever if you work in like insurance sales, like alternative sales. I won't bore you with the rest of the names, but it's like we all think of each other as like, oh, we're the only one that exists. But then when you get in a room of other people that do
All
the
of
same
them
thing, it's like,
together?
oh
Yeah.
damn.
You look like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
there are a ton of external organizations that I also leverage a lot. And then I'd say we also have affinity groups like business resource groups, and I'm sure you all have your respective firms as well. So I rely heavily and lean heavily
Oh
on those
yeah.
folks as well.
Oh.
So
EROs and ERGs.
Oh,
Are you kidding?
yeah,
Black at L'Oreal, locked in.
Connect with Black professionals. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Girl, I'm looking at me. I'm supposed to be looking at this camera. But yeah, that's so good. It's like a whole new world I'm experiencing right now. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. It's like Ariel. Okay.
So for you, like now it's kind of diving into more like things the girlies should know for their own
Facts.
personal finances. What's the number one thing that people in their 20s should be doing and prioritizing?
I feel like the number one thing people should be doing and prioritizing is if you have any consumer debt, meaning like credit card debt or anything discretionary that you now have to pay back, that should be something that you nip in the bud as soon as possible. Secondarily, if you have any like student loan repayments, like
Yeah.
that should be prioritized as well because and it can also be concurrent with like saving. You don't have to like tackle that all at once, but anything that's like high interest, right? So think about like if you have an existing credit card balance or if you have like a high yielding again loan payment of some sort, I would say like pay that down as soon as possible because what happens is like having a principal amount or like having an amount that is outsized that remains intact. Let's say if it's I don't know like an 18% APR or interest rate on that loan or existing balance you have outstanding, that accumulates so much over time and can be detrimental to wealth creation.
Yeah.
So I would highly encourage anyone who has that to to take care of that as best you can. It's not going to be an overnight process, but
Okay.
there has to be a plan in place.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing you do, and then secondly, after that, it's continuing to develop healthy habits, and we can talk about that more for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to get into the healthy habits.
Yeah, well,
let's get
we
into
need
healthy
them
habits.
habits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier said than done. So I say just like one, just not overspending. I feel like people should know at a certain point. Like for me, moving to New York City, initially I didn't necessarily know how much everything would cost.
Mm.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. Or even and like
Economy.
and I like kicks. I like going out, eating, drinking, all that stuff. So I mean that stuff adds up, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's just being healthy about it and not necessarily looking if you have a credit card, looking at your limit and saying, "Oh, I have this much to spend." But it's like, do you really have that much to spend?
That's
That's
yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's a limit you have, right? So you can
Mhm.
extend to that, but that's not how much you're able to pay on a month by month basis. So
Yeah.
again, like that's the trap that a lot of these credit card companies and credit cards rather, place on consumers, and
Yeah.
consumers are going to forever spend to the limit of credit.
Yeah.
So if someone says, "Oh, I have a credit card. Oh, I have a $20,000 balance," you
Run
really,
it up.
yeah. Like,
No
you don't have to
20-year-old
do
should
that.
ever in their 20s. Nobody should ever have a $20,000 limit. Are you kidding?
Man,
Because they're gonna hit it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just say like
That's
just be
exactly.
very very disciplined about that. And also, I think what I've used to help me like think about right if I do have a high limit and for those who are relatively high income earners at such a young age, I think it's important to think about how you can like everyone gets paid, right? You have some sort of direct deposit set up. So why not just add a savings account to that? Why not add your retirement account to that or any other investment account you have so that it's automatically deducted from your paycheck? So it's like the money you don't see is like you never had it. So you're not going to be willing to spend it. And also just not being, withdrawing from those excess funds that you're able to accumulate because I mean, you're saving for a reason, right? And if you're saving for fun or for a trip or whatever, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
if you're saving for like, for instance, and maybe I should have led with this, but let's say for instance, if you're like you're moving to a new city or you have a new job and you want to accumulate what's called an emergency savings plan. So
Mhm.
that's 3 to 6 months of emergency savings in the event that like you have a vehicle and your car breaks down or you have a job but you may lose it, like that sort of thing. So you have a buffer, right? You have a little cash buffer so you don't have to swipe your credit card. So
Yeah.
I think that's important to think about.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like 3 to 6 months, you don't realize how much that is until you put that in your calculator. For
Oh,
me,
of living expenses?
of living
Yeah.
expenses, that's
Yeah, for
like
sure.
to strive to do that. Like, shout out to anybody who has ever done that. For me, I was like, you kind of have to look into yourself and be like, what is doable for me? I know what I'm hearing from everybody else. What's doable for me? For me, I was like, okay, I don't have a car. I want to move to North Carolina. I don't have a car, but I do know. Let's say I lose my job. I need to have at least my rent. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I plan my life in quarters. So I was like, for this quarter, we're gonna save $560 every single month because I had very cheap rent. Now, that might not be the reality for everybody. So maybe you can't save $560 every month because you do have a car. Even if it's $100, because $300 for the quarter, that's a few tires, maybe one. I don't know how much tires are at this point. You see what I'm saying? I don't really know about cars, honestly, but do save what you can for yourself. And the thing is, it's really hard not to dip in those emergency funds because you're like, oh, I can't pay my credit card off this month. Let me
just take a few couple.
Let me just a few couple hundred, and
Yeah.
it's like, if that's what I got to do right now to survive and make sure I don't get interest on my credit card, that's what I got to do. Don't feel too bad because there's people are doing worse things. You see what I'm saying? At least you're trying, and eventually you're gonna get it. But it also, you need that discipline. So like, I was about to say Cordell. She's been talking about Love Island for the past week. Kennard. When you get your paycheck, what do you do? What accounts do you put it in? Like, what does that look like when you get your paycheck?
Yeah, so several things. One, I'd say it's like defaulting into like my corporate retirement plan. So given I work for a for-profit organization, the tax code is 401k,
Oh, wow.
which means that I'm, investing toward, my corporate retirement plan. And I would say like get your contribution rate, to as high as possible given your income level. So
Yeah.
that's like the first bucket, right?
Mhm.
That's, you paying yourself for your future. That's what's most important to the extent you're able to do that. Secondly, I just finished, or not just finished, but relatively recently finished like my 6-month savings goal. So for me,
Yay!
so
That's
for me-
amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
So for
Gotta get
me-
like you.
No, for real. When I grow up, okay.
Yeah. So for me, like that was the next bucket, like filling that up. But I was doing that concurrently with other things because
Yeah.
I felt like I had a pretty secure job. So yeah, number 2, right?
Mhm.
And then number 3, and also wait, let me that's a slight nuance though, because a lot of people think of like emergency savings as like, oh, let me just put this in my Chase savings account. Let me put
Oh,
this in my
no.
like Bank of America savings
Mm-mm.
account. Like, no.
You
And
need it.
yeah, you need
High
that
yield.
high
Yeah.
yield savings account, right? Where
Yeah.
you're getting a significantly higher yield in your account. So it could be certain months. It's like, man, like for some people that like your high yield savings account could pay for gym membership. It could pay for your Apple Music,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Or it could just still accumulate over time, right?
Mhm.
So I think a lot of people, right now, I don't know, just need to take the time to, set that up because it's legit free money.
And
Yeah.
do you have a recommendation for
Yeah.
a good high yield savings?
Yeah, I say, so I personally use Capital One 360 Performance Savings.
Love.
Yeah.
So,
Love.
Capital One stand.
Bro, okay, literally seven savings accounts. That's the max. I got a type A one. I got
Period.
flights one, emergency fund. I love, and then one that I really can't touch because it takes 1 to 3 business days to take out. So you really got to think is a firm. And it has, I think, a 4.5 around there. And it's, you really got to think of those 1 to 3 business
Do
days.
I need this
before
I take it out?
Before I take it out.
Yeah.
And if it don't come
That's
in
what
one day.
I need money that I can't see. And
I
can't
know,
touch.
but that's, I actually, I love that feature though, because given like, let's say for instance, you had a Chase account, right? It's direct, right? You get that money like as soon as you need it. But like,
Yeah.
if you're withdrawing from an emergency savings fund, like you really have to think about this, like, is this truly an emergency, right?
That
And if
part.
it's going to take you 3 days to do that, you should probably have some sort of like idea that, oh, this is probably an expense that I really need to take out, and this should be something that's like planned. And obviously, like,
Right.
a busted tire or I don't any other emergencies or like short term like volatility you may face, I think is important to think about. But like at the end of the day, it's like that 3 days is like, yeah, you gonna need it.
If
So,
you need it
you
now,
need
I
it
would say
now-
put it in Capital One.
Yeah.
But if it's really, you're really trying to get serious about emergency fund, that's the firm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Capital One is I was still they are still roughly 3 to 5 business days. But
Really?
yeah. But sometimes it comes a little faster. It depends.
I think because I also have a Capital One debit card, when I tell you I can touch those things so fast.
Oh.
The money I'm really serious
Dangerous.
about is in a firm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Valid.
So I would say that's the one I use though. for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So, but after you put that into your, you did your 6-month saving goal,
Yeah. So
and then
okay,
at-
so we got let me actually take a step back. Let me take a step back. So what I mentioned to first is like this is like how my paycheck is allocated. But for some people, right, the first payment should be your student loan payment. Your first
Oh,
payment should
yeah.
be that
Should be
credit
paid off
card.
that day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
or whatever tag you have or whatever excess cost you have, that is the first thing you need to pay down, especially the more high interest ones, right?
Facts.
Number one.
Right.
yeah,
And then number 2 is again saving for retirement, right? Saving for personal savings. And then number 3 is if you have those boxes checked off, it's like, okay, what's next? There's another investment solution. It's called the Roth IRA. So
Yep.
I'm sure you all are familiar with
Ooh,
this,
we
but
love a good one.
Love a good Roth.
yeah, love a good Roth. So as of 2024, you can invest $7,000 on a tax, um, on a post-tax basis, meaning like after you get your paycheck, right? Because your paycheck is taxed. So
Yeah.
whatever excess or discretionable income you have, you can invest that in a Roth IRA, and you can also select whatever investments you want. So how that works is, let's say for the year I have up to $7,000 I can invest into this account. Let's say I hit my $7,000 goal, and let's say, and I keep hitting that every year, right? Until I turn, I think it's I think it's 55 and a half, until you're able to withdraw
Yeah.
from your account without penalty. Everything that you've ever accumulated in your account comes back tax free, right? So
Period.
that's another, wealth creation tool that I don't think a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
But there are several nuances with the account, which I don't want to get into a tangent with that, but that we can talk about. So that's like number
I was gonna
three.
say, because you can also invest your 401k through a Roth too as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's again another delineation, but that's like it's called like tax deferred versus like post tax. So
Yeah.
think about, like, if you're on a tax deferred basis, that's you saying, hey, I get paid, X amount of dollars, right? The money that comes into on a tax deferred retirement plan is saying, okay, I have, let's say, like, my salary is, let's say, $75,000, right? And let's say I elect for like a 5%, allocations to my retirement plan, but on a tax deferred basis, which means the money that you're saving isn't taxed now, but it will be taxed later, right?
Ooh,
So
yeah.
it's like, if think about it, like, I'm 24 years old, I'll probably be making significantly more by the time I'm ready to retire.
That's the
So
goal.
By
Yeah.
55,
Mhm.
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So why now would I be positioned where I'm investing on a tax deferred basis and my taxes are going to be higher in the future?
Right.
Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm like, okay, I'll take this on the chin right now. Let me just pay the taxes right now and do it on the Roth basis again, which just means whatever you allocate to the account over time, you're able to withdraw tax free.
Yeah.
So that's how I think everyone at this age should be
Yeah.
allocated.
No, 'cause
Um,
at this rate, we're counting down days to retirement. I know we're only
Exactly.
24.
But
25. Shoot.
I don't
Man.
know if I got 40 years in me. I really don't
Man.
know. Maybe
Look at
20,
me.
and that's even pushing it.
Yeah.
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 And then I would say after those three things, I say another thing you can do is just, start open a brokerage account. Like, let's say, for instance, you have a goal. Let's say you want to own real estate at some point, or let's say, I don't know, you want to do whatever. I would just like open a brokerage account. A brokerage account is just a investment account that's taxable. So you pay like commission fees, you pay taxes on that account whenever you buy and sell out of it. But I think that could be another avenue for those that have checked those boxes, who are relatively higher income earners. And
Yeah.
if you remain disciplined with that, you could just achieve your goals, and for whatever that is. I think that's how I would think about it.
Yeah. So, do you have like a recommended platform? Because I know that just feels like very just Spanish to a lot
Yeah.
of people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't even want to touch it because I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You don't want to mess up.
I don't want to mess up.
Yeah.
Now all this money
Yeah.
gone.
So there,
Yeah.
so there are different avenues you can do. Well, one, you could just get a financial advisor, but a lot of people may not meet that minimum, which is fine. But two, you could also, there are certain areas where you can just have your account professionally managed for you, and they'll just charge you a management fee for that, so you don't have to do anything. You could just tell them, like, oh, these are my investment goals. I want to be a little bit more aggressive in my portfolio, and they'll allocate on your behalf as long as you keep contributing. But in a platform, I would say, like, really any like finance company. I would say like JP Morgan has one, Bank of America has one, Fidelity,
Yes.
E-Trade. Yeah, there are a ton out there. So, and I
I
would just
see.
encourage you all also just to do research. Like, if this is something that you're really into, there are like so many resources out there, and it's kind of on you to just take that. I wouldn't even call it a leap of faith, but just like what you need to do, right?
Fact. For your
Like, this is a
future.
this is
Yeah,
a necessity.
I found a guy on YouTube. I made a YouTube playlist. I can drop it for the girlies.
Yeah.
Just like learning the basics. Because I was just like, I want to learn for myself and I don't really know. And I just want to start from scratch. So before you maybe book a financial advisor, you just want to get your feet wet, like start on YouTube.
Yeah. So,
They,
but
they be telling it.
yeah.
Even
Start here
even
and then go to YouTube.
TikTok. I mean, I think there are few people on TikTok where I wouldn't listen to everybody, but like there are certain like certified people.
Yeah.
That I probably should know the names of some certified people, but that like deliver like very timely content. That's
Yeah.
like something that even I can take away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even some companies, you can have a free financial advisor. I know Cisco, I haven't taken advantage of it, but if you like just type in the chats to even some seasoned people, some seasoned vets. They'll let you know how they use their deal their money, because they making bank if they've been here for 20 plus years.
Oh yeah.
And you use the knowledge of
The
other
people
people
around you. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. Like one of my coworkers, he's my mentor and like he's my first boss. He's so good with his money and he has so many investments. I said, could we just set aside 30 minutes and you just walk me through how you got started? And
Everything.
he gave me his recommendations. He was like, start here. So like it's people around you. Like I'm gonna tap Kennard. Like, hey, what savings account should I use?
Exactly.
Like use
Yeah.
people around you too.
Absolutely.
Use your network, okay? Because
Real.
nobody else is gonna do it for you, for real. Let's see here. What else we got? This is good.
Yeah, no, for real.
I'm having a great time.
Also, like, what's one big finance mistake you think people should avoid? I know you mentioned, like, of course, make sure your bills are paid off, make sure your debts are paid off, but like, what's a big mistake that people might not notice at first?
I think what's important to think about is, and again, maybe this might be a precursor to the book that I want to share with you all, but for me, like, in thinking about what wealth is, and I'm talking about like maybe Black people specifically or people of color specifically, or maybe some people who just are more oblivious to this, but like think about like people who drive Ferraris or like Lamborghinis, right? You have absolutely no clue what they do for a living, right? And even like looking at someone who drives a Lamborghini, I'm speaking for myself. I'm a lot less concerned with who's in that car. I'm more concerned with like, damn, that's a nice car.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a lot of things that people do and the decisions people make, outside looking in, it's like I have no clue what you did to get there. So your $100,000 car or $75,000 car, whatever the case is, or I don't know, like $1,500 mirror jacket, right? To me, it's like you really like that, but it's like, are you like that?
What did you do?
Like, so, but that's not me. I'm not here to count nobody chips. Like, I really don't care what you did.
The bucket watch,
But like, just me personally, it's like, I think a lot of people view wealth as something that is like what you have on, right? It's something that like you have to show off. It's something that's tangible. But what I've been realizing is like, man, some of the wealthiest people in my job, you'll see them on the weekends driving a Toyota Civic and a dingy white t-shirt with some jeans, and they're probably one of the wealthiest people that you'd ever meet.
Yeah.
And for me, I think a lot of wealth is invisible, and that's how I'm looking to condition myself, because I mean, how I grew up, I mean, in Chicago, it's like, where you going? You got to step. Like, you need to have on like the latest whatever, latest Jordans, latest whatever. And obviously it's certain things that you just like.
That's
and
what you
you're
like.
Not gonna live. I'm not gonna live frugally, or like I'm not expecting anyone to live frugally, but I'm thinking a lot about, again, like, what can you see? And it's less about me thinking, oh, what they have on, like they're rich because of X, Y, and Z, but it's more like, oh, let's take a look under the hood, like,
And a lot
Yeah.
of people go broke trying to look rich.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, you don't know what's going on.
And it's crazy, but you never know that though.
Yeah,
you never know that.
you're thinking the mindset of like, oh, he got on Gucci, like, oh, he got on
Yeah.
that. But it's like he spent his last dollar
Man.
to get that Gucci belt.
Man.
Yeah. Or went on Canal Street. You see them.
Yeah.
Canal Street is crazy. That's really why I moved.
No, for real.
It's crazy
I'm like,
because,
wow.
yeah, when we first met, I was literally like, what, a few blocks from here.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I was telling her that. I was
And-
like, yeah, like.
Yeah, and every time walking from the 6th train, I see the boosters, like, trying to help me down for a watch or for a Gucci or whatever. And it's
They
like, you
look.
never know.
I would have
they
never
look
known.
official.
Yeah.
And I've been
Them look
seeing people like,
official.
well, how much?
Man,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk.
Exactly.
Because I mean, goodness gracious, I have realized like you can't really look at what people got on to be like that's what's in their bank account, because they might be eating ramen every night,
Man.
but for the Instagram,
you
that-
don't know people's reality.
you really don't know. It's like, okay,
Well, even they living, or how they living too. Like, you never know how people living. So for me, it's like, I mean, I know how I'm living.
Yeah.
I don't know about how you. I
That
don't
is
know
all
how
that
you living.
matters.
though.
all that matters. Really
Yeah.
worrying about yourself. Like,
Man.
yeah, I'm good. I know what's in my savings account. I know where I'm at with my goals. Like,
Right.
really worried about yourself is really going to help with
Man.
the wealth, with
And
the
also
building
just like
wealth.
your plan too, like just developing a plan for yourself, or at least like some sort of blueprint, right? Because I mean, like, shit is gonna happen. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to like wake up and like you're gonna have to buy whatever, you're gonna have to service whatever because it broke, right? And that's
Yeah.
an appropriate time to tap into your emergency savings or whatever. But again, for me, like that exterior wealth is something I'm like, it's hard. I just gotta shy away from it though.
It is
and
hard,
that's something
though.
I've had to like really condition myself to
Recondition
do.
yourself to think about
Man,
it. Yeah.
like I really had to like just shake back and like, man, like you maybe need to not do that. Let's like, and also even for me, it's like for certain things that I would be spending money on, it's like, or even like credit card points or whatever. Like for me, some people just use their credit card points to like accumulate it for travel, whatever, which is fine, great for them.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like every month I see like, oh, I have X amount of points that be transferred to cash. I'm like, let me withdraw that. Let me just throw it in my Roth because that's money that
Oh,
I've I didn't expect to come
I never
in.
thought about
Didn't even
that.
think
I
about
use
that.
mine for like Amazon purchases. So anything I need that's like excess, I use my points to pay for like random purchases.
Yeah, which is fine. And but like to me, I'm not gonna say that's how to get you, but like that's kind of how to get you, right? Like
Right.
in the app, they'll say like, oh, X amount of points can buy you X amount of flights or
Yeah.
whatever. They'll give you some perks, but it's like those are all partnerships, right?
Right.
All companies are doing is like
Oh.
charging
They're
fees
just
to
getting
credit
more
card
content.
companies, right?
Yeah.
Charging like, oh, you'll get 10 or 15% off to if you use points to convert to whatever, but like that's going to continue to perpetuate like you know you spending your
Wow.
money. And
Yeah.
for me, I like to think about this as like anything you have excess of like what the things we talked about earlier in
Yeah.
terms of like allocating your investments, like to me it's really like you're in charge of like your I call it discretionary income, right?
Yeah.
Things that like it's at your discretion. What you have after that is what you're able to do with it. So
Facts.
Right.
for me, I'm just gonna try and make the healthiest decision I can. And
Wow.
I'm just thinking about it in terms of paying my future self. Because when I'm
Facts.
when I'm however old and I'm like, Denasia, like where we going? You know,
That's
or
what-
wherever.
I'm ready
Or
to
like,
go.
yeah, I'm ready to go. Right. So
Right.
for me, it's like I want to be comfortable at some point. So
Yeah.
like let me just put in the pain
Lock
right
in
now.
Yeah.
And then later.
Ooh, I'm
straight.
so mad and it got me. I'm about to
Bro.
start taking out and putting it in a savings account. I'm not doing that no more.
What I do is I'm like, okay, let me try to pay my credit card down. So I try to make my credit card points go as high as possible until I'm like, okay, I don't have enough income to pay off this credit card, so let me use my points to pay off my credit card.
Which is something you can do. I think
Yeah.
like, you know, if you overspend for the money, then that's something you can. I mean, this is just me personally.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
you know, this is
absolutely,
just
yeah.
me, but like there are so many ways that you can use it. But to me, it's like the more constructive you can be with money that like you kind of just don't expect. Like to me, it's like when I look at my statement, I'm like, oh, I got this amount of points. Like, oh, I didn't know. I mean, this is not coming from my primary income. So I'm like, oh, bet. This is
Yeah,
whatever I
free
want to do.
money,
It's
yeah.
free bread.
Right.
Let me just put this bread to myself. But also what happens to that money is it just compounds though, right? So
Yeah.
that $50 today is now going to be $50, right? In 15, 20, 25 years.
Facts.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
Who'd you learn that from? Or you were just like, yeah, I got to do this.
I mean, just like kind of myself. Like,
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
talking about. That's what I'm
Period.
talking
And
about.
just
yeah.
like just being a little more
Said,
rational.
not new to this, true to this.
Okay. So we've talked about how you spend your money adultly. What do you spend your money funly? How do you spend your money funly?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I really I like shoes. So
Okay,
that's my
okay.
thing.
And that's a very expensive habit.
Yeah,
Because when I'm like, oh, what do you want, Dammy? He's talking about some shoes. I'm like, from what? Knockoffs? Real ones? Oh,
man.
from
Gotta get some
Goat?
slides.
When I bought him his first pair of shoes, I said, oh, we're locked in for life.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girlies, a lot of like the older women,
I was
like,
gonna say it's a superstition.
Yes.
You buy that man shoes, he walk out your life.
I had never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I mean, we're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay, locked in. But yeah, but okay, so other than shoes.
I mean, I don't know, like that'll give me a little bit more like flexibility if I want to have another drink. Like, you know, I don't have to be like, oh, this is my set budget for the week. So, but if I'm doing good, I'm like, oh, like I'll stay out. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, like I'll invite someone. So, or I'll go somewhere, you know, or I'll go on another date, like that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Woo!
But
More
yeah,
power to you on the
Man.
dating front. Cause frack.
man.
My gosh.
But yeah.
I just thought about the cost
I
of
know. One of my guy friends said he literally has to like take part of his budget for like dating because he's like, I
It's
gotta-
expensive.
It's an expensive thing.
For
And I
sure,
said,
especially in New York, and then they tax you with the gratuity too. So
yeah.
it's
Drinks
it
be like
automatic?
$20 for a
Yeah.
drink. Like
It's
happy
like that's
hour is what it should be costing already.
literally, and I feel like for me, it's like even when it comes to like drinking and like even food, it's like how is a drink more than a meal? Like I don't. That's what I don't understand. And then some of the drinks
Whoa.
just be like mad fruity.
D-
It's like this ain't
and
even.
ice down.
Man, I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Whoa.
This
Yeah.
is no liquor. Well,
But
I love
also,
a fruity
but in
drink.
thinking about like the other side, there's always a flip side of the coin. So you
Yeah.
have restaurants, right? I mean, they have profit margins they need to meet. They're like, think about like, there are like certain wage pressures that like restaurants face for their employees. So they need to make sure that their employees are compensated. But what does that do? Increases prices for consumers. So that price is already passed through
Yeah.
to other people. So I get it from a business
I get it,
perspective,
yeah.
you know, but it's like really though, like that's
At
what
what
we're doing.
cost?
I know. Why is my drink 22?
Man,
Ooh.
man.
More power to
It's a
y'all. Are you
lot.
kidding?
I
Oh
know.
my
Well, I mean,
God.
I think it's also like where you're living also because New York is just expensive in general.
It is
Yeah.
literally expensive.
I know you kept on referring to your book. Do you want to kind of get into that really quickly?
Yeah, so I just want to just share with you all like a book that that again like kind of helped me reframe how I think about like finances in general. So this book is called The Psychology of Money, and to me it just talks about just overall like how you can reframe your mind and think about like what the value of a dollar is and how far it can go, but also how you perceive it too.
Yeah.
And they made an analogy in this book. It said like there are three people who save, people who don't think they can save and people who think they don't need to save, right? So and they said, okay, the people for the people that can save, fine, you're good, next chapter, whatever.
Yeah.
But the people who don't think they can, it's like you just need to find, ways in which, you could maybe sacrifice going out to eat and maybe, why don't you just cook this evening, right? But then that's excess dollars in your pocket that again accumulates over time, right? So depending, it's not that you don't need to make a lot to save a lot. You can just do things consistently
Little
over a
things.
very long period of time. And
Yeah.
again, that's how you'll achieve financial freedom. And, there are the other people who think, they don't, I think I just talked about
Don't need to say.
Yeah, so and then the people that don't, and for the people that don't think they need to save,
Yeah.
it's like, again, we talked a little bit about that earlier. It's like, okay, what happens, when the unknown happens, right?
Yeah.
So you think you might be living afloat, and you can live off your income with no savings, but it's like when things happen, right? You get a flat tire, that's $400.
Now you're stranded.
Now you're stranded.
And on a credit card, now
Man.
you're building up credit card debt.
Exactly. So it's like a cycle, a domino effect, and I think that's not a lot. I don't think people realize that a lot, but it's like they realize it when it happens, and they're like, damn. And then, but
Now
oh,
what?
now I can't save, but you can. You have ample opportunity because I don't know, $50 every 2 paychecks is like what $400 in 4 months, right? So
Yeah.
that's your tire, boom, right there. If you're
Mhm.
just a little bit cautious
A
about it.
little bit. Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing that people should think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was that your
Making the best
first
with what you got.
No, facts? Was that your first money book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
first one. I haven't read too many because I feel like in my day-to-day role, I get enough of finance. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
that's
I'm
enough.
really in the trenches with
Yeah.
where I am at work. So like for me, I've been I read a lot. I read a ton of stuff. So I love
Yeah.
reading. That's one thing I also grew into, like reading. I read every day.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes. No, same. But I'm more of a fiction girly. Like reading is my escape. I can't read about stuff.
I'm an
already-
audiobook girly.
Yeah.
I will lose the book.
Okay.
I will get it dirty with all
I
the
have
snacks
to
I
read
eat.
it
Yeah, no,
physically.
I'm an audiobook. On the subway, I'm like, yeah, okay, good job, girl. Like, yeah. I'm an audiobook girly down. And Spotify, you can do 15 hours of free Spotify on Spotify
That's
Premium
tough.
every
I didn't
month.
know-
I
I
didn't
didn't know
know
that.
So yeah.
It's tough. Very tough.
Yeah.
I'm still leeching onto my student discount, so I still got that.
Oh,
I lost
for
that.
everything.
Oh yeah, need that.
Are
Need
you
that.
kidding?
Need that.
I'm
Bro.
on Student Beans. I'm on every site.
Man.
Student Beans.
Wait, what's Student Beans? What's Student Beans?
Student Beans is like a site where like if you're a student, you get discounts to like all of like the biggest retailers and stores and stuff.
No way.
So like usually like for a site, if you just look up like Student Beans Target, they probably have like a 15% off discount code.
That's
I'ma use
insane.
Joy's.
I need that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I
Didn't
still
know
got
that.
access to my my at UNLV.edu.
Oh no, they
Yeah,
they
I
I be
need
like,
that.
approved.
Exactly.
I'm a 6-year student.
6. I'm in my master's program. No worries.
Right.
Yeah, I mean realistically, you about to be, so yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
until then, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Student Beans.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's get into a little bit of some fun stuff.
Rapid
Kenarda, what are
fire.
some of the funnest things that you've done in New York? Like your favorite part about them?
I don't know. I'm like a huge. I just like visiting new things and doing new things. So, at my company, we have like so many like different perks and things we're able to do. So like museums are cool. I would say like places like the High Line is cool.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, Dumbo
Yeah.
is cool. So yeah, I like a lot of experiential stuff. What else? I've been to a couple live shows as well. Jazz clubs. Be cool too.
Oh,
Jazz
I've been
clubs are
wanting to
really
get
nice.
into those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to a jazz night at Cafe Azruli.
Really?
It was really fun.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It was live band. I was like, I can get with
Okay,
this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Feel
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
sophisticated.
That was cool. I'm trying to think what else do I do. Yeah, honestly, like trying a little bit more for work now, so I feel like I don't have as much like flexibility to do as much as I want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, cities. I mean, and it's always in the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's crazy because it's like when I don't even get frustrated that you ask that question. I kind of get frustrated at like just New York in general because I've moved like every year since I've been here, right?
Yeah.
But this year's probably gonna be like I'm probably settled. I'm like, all right, I'm not moving for some time.
You're more power to
This
you.
your last stop.
Yeah, this is my last. This is
Yeah.
the last one. So
Yeah.
I feel like that has been a transition because it's like every year I'm like, oh, we're not going to renew. Oh, now we have to go find a new spot. Now we need to get acclimated to the culture. Now I need to find new food places. Now I need to find a new grocery store. Now I need to find a new gym. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Every time I
A
want
lot of
to,
Oh.
yeah, man.
transition. And it's like
Jesus.
you guys, honestly, you guys have been. I've never seen any group of people stay roommates through multiple.
Yeah.
Those my
places.
guys, though. Those my guys.
You know, like y'all are locked in. That's
Yeah, we
good
locked
that you
in,
got
for sure.
blessed with lucky. Like you're really
Early.
lucky to have roommates
Yeah.
that you get along with and
Yeah.
y'all have a good relationship.
Man,
Yeah.
that's very key. And I feel like so many people have probably had like roommate issues. And,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
been doing like just in different places where like they just not that comfortable. But like my roommates, yeah, they cool. Obviously, not everything not perfect, right? So I'll still get into it. Like don't not say it's rainbows and sunshines all the time. But what I will say is like respectable,
Yeah.
clean, fun to be
Clean is
around.
huge for men.
Yeah.
Man.
No. Because, sometimes men apartments just be like,
Them
what's
bathrooms?
going on? But yeah, y'all's very, very clean, very
Yeah.
pristine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah.
That's
My mama ain't
amazing.
raised me like that, so I can't.
She said we're
Listen,
not doing
you're gonna
that.
clean
Can't do
today,
that. Can't do
okay?
that.
You're gonna learn how to clean the toilet.
For
'cause
real.
At the frat parties,
This is
just
grimy.
those bathrooms.
Bro, don't even bring me
Grimy.
back.
But one thing, I mean, even for us, it's like case in point, like we, this, we like, shoes off at the door. Like you're not about to bring these New York subway rats in my apartment. You're not doing that. That's just not happening.
No outside clothes on no beds.
Man.
Shoes, like,
Don't blame
please,
None of that.
take it off.
None of that.
And I live in a studio, so I'm like, if I have people over, it's got to be less than 5.
Yeah.
So y'all can fit on my couch.
Yeah.
Because no one's sitting on that bed
I feel that.
with their
I
pants
feel
on.
that. I feel
Yeah.
that.
Off the
Not at
subway.
all. No,
Mm-mm.
sir.
Yeah.
The subway is just.
No.
It's so grimy.
I didn't
And I, like-
realize mystery water.
Oh,
the water
okay.
that's
I
coming
explained to
down?
her, like,
Oh my
when you're in the
God.
subway and just random drips of water are just everywhere.
I don't even know what that comes
I call it
from.
mystery water.
Man,
Because we don't
like
know
where
where
is
it's-
this
but it's
urine? Is
triggering.
this water? Is this sewer water?
Is it
I have
this?
no
I
clue
heard
what it
somebody
is.
call it subway juice. I don't.
That's actually worse.
Oh.
Subway juice.
Yeah,
That's-
someone on
that's
TikTok said that she was going and Subway juice dripped into her Chipotle bowl. And I said,
Throw
why
in
would
the
your
trash.
Chipotle bowl open?
Be
in
open.
the Subway?
I've seen too many videos on
Bigger fish to
Well, y'all
fry.
seen the videos on the subway where it's like they just come snatch your food and run?
Yes!
Oh my God.
That's my biggest fear.
Nah, that's my. I'm like I've
I be
never.
holding mine.
I don't
tight.
think I've ever eaten on a subway. I may have like little snacks, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but
No,
no,
I've
I'm not a
never had a
full fledged
meal.
meal. Is crazy work.
Chipotle bowl?
That's crazy work.
I've never.
That,
The most I've had is maybe a coffee and a smoothie. Like,
Yeah.
man, if
cool.
that
I'm not
that-
letting Subway air touch the meal.
at all, at all.
Slow.
Man.
Oh my gosh, that's
Wait,
actually
Wait,
nuts.
you're from Chicago, I know. So, like, do you feel like Chicago has better pizza than New York? Because this is a long-standing feud. And we've
Okay,
had
so
it.
I mean, it's. I wish it was a short answer, but it's really not a short answer. For convenience, New York got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, like you're not going to Chicago getting a slice and it's gonna be ready in like 5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But for the quality of pizza, Chicago is the way to go. And
Mm.
this is me coming. I'm telling you, this is me coming from like a very unbiased standpoint. Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not again. I've been living in New York for some time. Like, give props to New York. Like, New York is great, whatever. But it's just that need for speed, right? That
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's not
grab it and
present in
go.
Chicago.
Mhm.
But the quality is better to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never been to Chicago, so I'm like,
No,
let
me
try
either.
some
That's-
deep
Yeah,
dish.
I
No.
seen y'all some Rex.
Go to the
Yeah.
bean.
Yep.
Exactly,
Please.
exactly.
I think maybe we have time for one
One
more
more?
question, moms.
Yeah.
Probably favorite memory.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory of living with your roommates so far?
Man, I feel like you've been there every time. So
That's
like,
so sad.
man, that night was crazy.
That's insane.
But yeah, I mean, I think we have we keep mentioning this, but we moved like this is our third lease since we've been in the city,
Right.
and I've been with
Yeah.
Toby since I was an intern, right?
Yeah.
So this is my
Whoa.
4th lease with this dude.
Wow.
And weren't they roommates in college?
No, they knew each other pretty well. I don't think they were roommates. in
Oh, okay. I
school.
was gonna say
Yeah,
that's
that-
even longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. I've known Toby since like 2021.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a long time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would say like we've always like found a way to just make the best of every situation. So that's probably
Yeah.
the funniest. So I'm trying to think, I could share so many stories. I'm trying to be selective right now. I think so. Okay. So,
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited, yeah.
I'm ready to get it go.
oh my
Yeah.
god, no, it's crazy. So it's just one story. I don't even think it's not. It's funny not in hindsight, but it just wasn't funny.
During.
Yeah, during during what happened. So we so this at this point I was working from home, and I rarely work from home now, but at this point I was working from home, and this was on a Friday. So I think it may have been like a half day, or I came home early or something like that, right? So I'm just working, blah 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 blah. And my street, Broome Street, which is in the Lower East Side, was pretty busy. And at this point, right, like it's always something loud, there's something going on. So I'm working, right? And at this point, I just got off a call too, so I was kind of happy that this happened after. So all I hear is just people outside my apartment yelling, because my apartment is right on the street, right? So you got like the window, and then you can see on the street right there.
Yeah.
And if anyone that is from New York, if you know like Broome and Forsyth, is just a very treacherous
It's
part.
a lot going on.
Man, it's a lot going on right there. So I'm just hearing like a whole bunch of arguing, cursing, don't know what's going on. And I just hear like big smack. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I instantly go to the window, and at this point, I just had to start recording because I just
Why
You
not?
already know
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be something.
so I just see this dude, like his face is leaking crazy with blood. But and it's crazy though because it was our mail was so crazy because our mail was getting delivered at the same time. So the mailman was trying to get into our apartment, but he couldn't get in for some reason. And then by that time, it was this two homeless dudes like long story short, two homeless dudes were fighting. And this one homeless dude saw like this big wooden plank on the ground because they got the garbage right outside on the curb, smacked him in the face with the plank, and his face was leaking with blood. And when I swear to God, I'm not lying. I swear to God, this homeless dude that got hit, right? So he can't, like, his face is leaking, right? So he can't even see for real. And then the mailman is like, damn, all the blood on the mail. So my mail that day did not get delivered. Swear to God. So this homeless dude, and it's funny now, but it was not in the moment. It's not funny. I promise it was not funny in the moment. He was just getting like the juice, like the garbage juice or like the water, and like from the curb and put it on his face because his face was bleeding so badly.
No.
So that was, but it was just no. But it was just so so funny because like just listening to the audio of the video that I recorded was just insane, and it just brings me back to like it's just so funny like even walking back to this studio. I'm like, man, I remember this place and I did not want to be here for real.
PTSD for real.
Man, but it was
Oh my God.
it was definitely like funny. I mean, it wasn't funny in the moment, but like reflecting, it's like, damn, that's really why I left Manhattan.
Yeah.
So like Brooklyn is probably like the best thing that's happened.
Yeah.
But that's how it was so funny because I'm like, in the moment, it was like, it's kind of gruesome, but like, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like folks really got smacked with a plank and then start washing his face
There
with
had
the
to be a
curb.
different option. I'm so
Man,
sorry.
like, bro, you could have just
infection?
ran and just because it was it's a corner store everywhere in New York.
yeah.
Right.
So he could have
just ran and grabbed a
man, boom,
Just stolen the water would have been
Son.
better.
bro. He was on the
Garbage
ground
juice?
like with like it, well, it's like the garbage is on every curb,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was garbage juice or if it would just rain, if it rained earlier in the day or
Either
the day
way.
before.
Either way, it's on the street.
It's on the street, and he was washing his face, but it was just so crazy because that was the moment that clicked. I'm like, bro, we got to get out of here.
We gotta
get out of here.
And so we only been in New York for 2 years, right? But again, this is our third lease. So right after that moment, the next day we was like, we were
He was in the chat
online.
like, we need to go.
We need to go. So around this time, it was around May. We found so this like around like internship season. So we knew this was a couple months before May. So we like, okay, maybe some summer students like who have internships may want to move to the city that we can probably just source 3 people. So
Yeah.
luckily, around May and or June, like that's when the internship cycle starts. So we got some kids from I think from BU or BC that they came to live in an apartment. So I don't know how they're doing.
Hey.
I wish them the best of luck.
No, for real.
But we had to sublet that.
So that's their problem now.
Yeah, had to sublet that, and then we moved to Brooklyn. So this is my last stop. Love our apartment now. So
Yeah.
that's it wasn't a funny story, but that
Bro,
story was just like crazy.
That was the final straw.
Yeah.
Man, it clicked though. Like that's when it was just like, nah. We just had to look at each other like, nah, this is not real life right now. Like,
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
plank.
Oh my God.
a wooden plank, like thinking like a 2x4, like a plank, like a long plank. Bow.
Like Ed and Eddie playing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Ed and Eddie,
I
exactly.
wonder what happened with the mail. Like,
Man, I don't even know.
how-
I don't even know.
His face needs to be disinfected. That's what I'm
Man.
thinking.
did he make it? Is the question. Because that
He
infection,
but man, New York City crackheads, man.
Bro.
Tough people.
indestructible.
Man, they are tough.
Yeah, they're Avengers for real.
Oh my God.
But you
Wow.
guys,
Well, thank you so
thank
much,
you so
Kanara.
much for coming
Thank you
on.
for
I
the
don't know if that was
finance
funny,
advice.
but that was
No,
that was
that
a
was-
memorable. That was something very memorable.
Yeah.
No, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the advice. We want to buy this book.
Yeah,
You,
this
you
is
need a
great.
code. You
No,
have to put
for
the
you
Oh,
to
wait.
get affiliate
Yeah.
code. Yeah.
But thank you again so much for coming on. We really appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Hopefully the
Appreciate it.
girlies got a lot of financial advice.
Yes.
Hopefully y'all opening your Roth IRAs tomorrow
Thank
or
you.
soon.
Today.
Today.
Yeah, today, yeah.
But yeah, moms, I think we're good.
I think we're
Yeah.
good.
Thank
Yeah.
you again.
Thank
you
you.
so much. See you
Appreciate
guys
it.
next week.
Absolutely.
Bye.